And I'm definitely ready. It's Sunday night. That means it's time for another episode of At Week's End, where Paul and myself take a spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics, movies, news, and so much more. And we're going to get into all that. I hope you wore your red shirt. We did. Let's go. What is going on, Paul? I don't know why I said that about the red shirts.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Red shirts. We'll be talking some red coat tonight. Just to give everybody the heads up, we're going to be looking at some DCU news. There's some very exciting stuff, very troubling stuff, and everything in between dropped this week from James Gunn's DCU. And then we're going to be diving into some Ghost Machine, get caught up. It's been a while since we've unpacked a lot of that. There's a lot to unpack. We'll be looking at some of the bigger, greater DCU news. And we'll be doing the giveaway for the Legion loot tonight. So big shout out and thank you to all the channel members. So if you're in the Legion tier, your name is on the wheel, and we'll draw for that at the end. And if you're not a channel member, be sure to check that button down below. Memberships are live. It gets you the loyalty badges next to your name that denotes how long you've been a channel member, a Legionnaire. You also get access to the custom emojis. You also get access to early videos and members-only live stream. So fun stuff there. Good stuff.
Nice.
And Paul, tell me what you got going on your channel this week.
Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, Mark and I will look at the final issue of the first story arc of Absolute Wonder Woman. It is Absolute Wonder Woman number 5. And yes, it is he was mouthing fire there.
Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what time is that at again?
It is at 10 o'clock. This is an off week for Guess That Key, but next week we will have the two gentlemen who will follow us, not here on this channel, but follow us on Sunday night. It is Evil Mike and Trev, the shipping guru.
Are they back yet to streaming on Sunday nights?
I thought they were, but possibly not.
Possibly not. But Trev, the shipping guru, and Evil Mike, that's going to be a fun show. Mm-hmm. Two awesome community members. Make sure you give those guys a follow on all the social medias.
And here on every other Wednesday night at 9 o'clock.
And make sure you follow Paul on Instagram and right here on YouTube. You can find his YouTube channel in the description. All my videos, just one click away. He'll post up a YouTube video later on down the road when it gets closer, showing you what prizes he'll be giving away, because every Guess That Key does a mega shiny giveaway for that. So come hang out, guess some comics, have fun in the live chat. And yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. If you're interested in being a guest on Guess That Key, reach out to Sector 2815 over on the Instagram. That's Sector __2815.
Thank you. You now may return to your previously scheduled program.
There you go. So, as always, a huge shout out and thank you to the homies over at Big Time Collectibles. Be sure to check them out if you're looking for any online retailers, exclusives, con exclusives. They got little bundle boxes, all kinds of fun stuff. They're getting geared up for C2E2. They do a lot of Transformers stuff these days, a lot of cool symbiote stuff. Just really amazing exclusives. They're the best of the best when it comes to online retailers. And if you need anything cleaned or pressed, be sure to hit up Justin's Comics over on Instagram. Let him know you found him via the channel. He can get your books clean, pressed, and submitted to the grading service of your choice. And a huge shout out to the local comic shop, ABX Comics and Games, where I pick up my new books every week. They're also the sponsor of the Tuesday giveaway. Every Tuesday, I go live for a new DC Day stream just to hang out at 2 o'clock on Tuesdays. And I give new books away every week over there. So make sure you come tune into that and give ABX Comics and Games a check out on their Facebook page down below. If you're looking for a place to pick up your monthly books, your weekly books, whatever it be, and you don't have a spot, ABX Comics and Games has got you covered. They do free shipping on orders over $100. They are the community's comic shop. Now to our regular scheduled programming. Hello to everyone in the chat. Appreciate y'all being here. We got 11 rocking with us right at the start of the show. What's tonight? Tonight's the Oscars, you said.
It's Oscars tonight going on right now.
What are the big ones? I know you mentioned Dune 2 to me. What categories is it pulling in? And
I mean, that's the director and motion picture of the year are the two big for Dune 2. There's like a couple of them that I haven't actually seen. Like Anora is big this year. Wicked it has a couple of things going on.
Is there a musical category?
No, it's just motion picture of the year. What they did is they used to have
motion picture of the year.
They used to have a separate, and now I believe but it used to be only like 6 in each category, and now I believe they do 10 but it's motion picture of the year.
Wow. That's crazy in my mind for that to be nominated for picture of the year. Like I can see it like getting like that's not even an original soundtrack because it's an
Right.
adapted. Yeah.
It's
So
based on
I don't know.
on a book.
Yeah,
A Broadway
no
book.
doubt at all that it's like a huge hit, like wildly popular. You know, Oz stuff tends to do pretty well, and that was a popular play going into it. But it's man, I don't know. Like just because something's popular, you know what I mean? Like I don't see like these Marvel movies catching as many Oscars as you'd think they did if it was just based off popularity.
Yeah.
Wicked really
Conclave
that
is
good?
big this year too. That's got a lot of
Oh yeah,
nominations.
that's one of the priests, right?
Yeah, that was actually really good.
What was the premise of that one?
It's on Peacock. It's basically about exactly what it says. It's about a conclave and the behind the scenes machinations that go on, and you know,
For context, Paul, the last movie I watched about priests was called Spotlight with Liev Schreiber, and it had a whole different angle it approached this from. It's not
basically
that, is it?
a pope dies. They have the conclave. All of these different priests are kind of gunning to try to be the new pope, and they're kind of
Mm,
positioning,
got you.
and bishops are kind of plotting against each other. And then there is a huge swerve right at the very end that you would never see coming. Um, so it's really good. It's on actually you can see it. Let's say you can see it for free. You got to pay for hours, but it's on Peacock. You can watch it on Peacock.
Well, at least it's not about the this stuff. Have you seen
Okay.
Spotlight? Liev Schreiber? It was a fantastic movie.
I have not. It's
It's
about
about
is that the one set in is that the one set in the Boston diocese?
yeah, that
Okay.
bus that kind of found out all that stuff that was
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Big shout out and what's up and hello to Pops Attic. Let's go, Legionnaires. Throwing those custom emojis you get access to those by hitting that join button. It's time to Hulk smash the like button. Yeah, that does help in the eternal battle against the YouTube algorithm. Dell Suspense read up his membership. What is going on, Dell? Appreciate you, homie. DJ Link's dropping the 41-month member milestone chat. Angel, what's going on? Good evening to Paul at ABX. Hello, hello. There's those custom emojis. Brian, what is going on, homie? Hello to you. The adventurous one, Joseph Michael, dropping that 20 months. 20 months in, and everyone still yells at me and says, "Get out of here, Kathleen Kennedy." That's not my name, damn it.
Go on, get.
Going now, get. Big shout out to Kev. Hello to Random Reads. It used to, aka formerly known as all that stuff, Random Rips. What's going on, Rich? We got Comic Cap Collectibles. Hello to you. It doesn't pay to wear a red shirt in some universes. Very true. Paul got that joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 35 months strong. What is going on? Aggressively relaxing. What up? The Section 31 comic was fine. For AR to say something was fine means it was utter trash by my standards.
And it was a Star Trek. The Section 31. It was a Star Trek.
Did you read
comic.
it?
I haven't. I haven't read it yet.
Oh, that doesn't bode well. Oof. Stephen with the C dropping in with 40 months strong as a Legionnaire. Good evening. Good luck on tonight's Legion loot. Speaking of ABX, be sure to send your thoughts and prayers to Paul because his sister passed away the other day. Yeah, everyone keep him in your thoughts. That's absolutely terrible. Talked to him Tuesday. Said she seemed to be doing better. Man, that sucks, man. Fiddlesticks. Yeah, Lord of the Rings, the War of
Rohirrim.
That is on Max. You can also, if you're a physical media collector, go to grooveentertainment.com. They've got the physical media copies of it, including a steelbook option in 4K if you are a physical media collector and you want to get your Lord of the Ring on. Have you watched this yet?
I have not. I plan on watching it very soon, but it's in my queue. So I added it to my list.
Yo, like if I want to get a stream demonetized, I know a big Lord of the Ring fan out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be happy to watch it and talk about it. But the lady fantastic. I wonder if she's watched it yet. I talk to her regularly. I need to message her and let her know it's on Max. I don't know if she has Max, but I know she needs to see it and judge it. Because she's a sweetheart when it comes to judging media. But when it comes to Lord of the Rings, you better come correct. You better. It's a good balanced fan to ask about it. She's like, I ask her about the Rings of Power, and she comes to because she doesn't want to just be mean, but like they're bastardizing her fandom in front of her, so it's rough on her.
I like the Rings of Power.
I know you do. I know
Second
you
season
do.
was better than the first. I can understand why people might have given up after the first season, but the second season was much better than the first.
Glad you mentioned that. What do you think of the Andor season 2 trailer? Did you see that?
Yeah, I think it was good.
Did you finish season 1? I still haven't gone
I did.
back.
Yeah.
That's one of those ones that people we talked about before. You watch 3 episodes and bail, or you finished it and loved it.
Right.
I got to go back and watch it. Yeah, exactly, Joe. When it comes to Lord of the Rings, Lady F don't play around. No, she don't. Rings of Power, my best show of 2024. Wow. I think Trev's been hacked. That's wild, dude. Did you not watch Lioness? Yeah, Herb says Andor is excellent Star Wars for grown-ups. Yeah, I got to go back and finish it, man. Like there's not one person on the planet who watched all of Andor and had something negative to say about it. That person doesn't exist.
I had Superman and Lois as my best show of 2024.
Dude, that finale changed me. That was so crazy. Yeah, it was a solid year for movies or shows. Like Penguin was out there, and Lioness really sat with me for a long, long time. Superman and Lois final season was next level, and that finale was a television game changer. But yeah, I can't get behind Rings of Power. I tried so hard to watch it. I'm like, this is just, say it nicely, not for me. It's not for Lord of the Rings fans. I don't know. I just can't. I don't have that. I'm not able to bridge that gap. I can't cross that line. And I get it because I like Michael Bay Transformer stuff, but diehard Gen 1 fans struggle with Michael Bay Transformer stuff. I like Lord of the Rings. And that makes me struggle with Rings of Power. Steven without the sleeves. We got Sleeveless Steve up in the building. Burt Family 54 Comics. Mark, jump on that Spider-Man TV show, bro. Absolutely not, Steve. I appreciate it, though. Durz is trying to get me to watch it, and the other 3 people that watched it said it was good, but I thought about it. I legitimately did think about it, and I just turned Mythic Quest back on, and I'm having a blast with that. Apple TV's back, baby. I'm not locked out anymore.
There you go.
Kenny B, what is going on? Steve says it's so good, man. I believe that you enjoyed it. I'll give you that. I honestly believe you enjoyed it. That one, I can look at it and tell you it's not for me. Not for me. Until we get back to some classic Spider-Man stuff, I'm just going to stick with classic Spider-Man stuff. I don't enjoy the Tom Holland stuff. There's no reason in hell I'll enjoy this. I promise if you watched it, you would like it. Try one episode. No. You don't know me that well, my dude. I'm explaining it to you so well right now, and then you're going to say it's not. It's not this.
He's trying the same approach he used on his teenage daughter to eat fish.
If you like chicken, you'll like this. But that's fish.
Just try one bite, you'll like it.
Yeah, you're like that's not chicken. That's fish. I don't eat seafood. Yeah, this is not classic Spider-Man, and it's okay. It doesn't have to be. It ties into I know it's its own universe, but it's MCU Spider-Man, not for it. And he looks stupid and goes through all the different costumes, and it's not for me, man. If I watch one episode and don't like it, what do I get? What are you going to give me? I need something in return.
Right.
It's in my contract. If I'm going to consume Marvel content, I have to be compensated. It's in the contract. Christina Payne, hello. I have always disliked MCU Spider-Man. It removed the most beautiful thing about the character. Peter's underdog. Yeah, I didn't like Homecoming at all. I didn't like Far From Home at all. I disliked Far From Home. And then No Way Home, I enjoyed the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield stuff in there. I enjoyed seeing Andrew Garfield get his redemption. I enjoyed Tobey Maguire being Tobey Maguire. I love that. I love the way that it ended with it looking like, okay, maybe they're getting him to a place where we can start a Spider-Man franchise in Disney, but I don't know. It has its origin in the first episode. Yeah, I'm familiar with this show. I've heard a few people talk about it. It's just not for me, bro. It's not for me. That being said, freshman year is the best Spider-Man media since Andrew Garfield. Is that this current show, freshman year? It's just called
it's called the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, yeah.
Spider-Man is good, says the guy who thinks CGC is the best slabs. Pops kind of, yeah. Steve did just Burt Family just posted. He did a video about the books getting bent in the slabs a while back, and he had someone commented on it earlier this evening. Commented today, I believe the comment was from that they just received 4 books back from CGC this week, and all of them have the bin. So be on the lookout with Burke Family 54's channel. He doing some update content. If you keep up with the CGC comings and goings and the controversies, I had to pronounce it like that because we're wearing red shirts. Controversies. Steve's got you covered. Comment is from today. Yeah. So, dude, as early as today, people are still having those issues. And Steve did a lot of videos, unboxing one, discovering his books were bent, the communication back and forth with CGC on how they were going to handle it, him sending the books back, receiving them back, still having the same issue, and then going back and forth. It's just wild. Peter suffers throughout the show and makes mistakes and pays for them dearly while juggling his life as Spider-Man. I've seen that. I've seen that one. Bengate is real. It is. It is. Hashtag Bengate. Good grief. Yeah. Well, I hate it for the people that are sending off books. I haven't sent anything off in a while. I have some stuff that I'd be happy to send off. I've got all that credit sitting at CGC from renewing the membership. I need to cancel my membership because it renews in December, as does like my annual DC Ultra tier, as does Christmas. And all. I'm like, dude, that's like the worst time for annual subscriptions to renew. So I got like CGC, DC Ultra, a year's worth of Disney Plus, because that's when it like took off. Mm-hmm. And it's just it's like $500 in subscriptions.
All you need now is your StreamYard to renew then too.
I do that monthly, believe it or not. It's like $45. Eesh. It's worth it. I like this platform, man. I like it a lot. What is going on, Evil Mike? Looking forward to guess that key with you, buddy. Steve White, hello to you. Hello, hello. All right, so let's get into it. There's some cool stuff, and we're going to kick it off with probably the thing that I'm most excited about in this new DCU era. Like, there's been countless announcements, and we'll get to some of those, but there's a couple projects that are sooner than everything else, and it's getting the most attention. It's actively being filmed, or it's done being filmed and in post. You know, we have the Superman movie taking flight in July, but even more exciting than that for me is what made it to the thumbnail tonight is the Lantern show on HBO Max. Like that's the biggest hype I have for anything DCU related right now. And we got some really cool updates and confirmations and stuff about this series. David Lindelof, however you say his name, who is like one of the greatest television writers to ever grace television, hands down. He's worked on amazing projects like Lost, Watchmen,
exactly,
and countless other shows. On top of him writing this, he did an interview this week where he said that he's getting a lot of his inspiration from like the late 80s era of Green Lantern when the core was like maxed out and you had this crazy cast of different lanterns of all different species and sexes across all the galaxy. And there's so much lore that you can pull from for that. So that was super exciting to see. Already this show has a lot of crew members working on it that worked on shows like The Last of Us. And now we have the award-winning cinematographer that they've used, who's got like tons of awards under his belt, just got confirmed yesterday or today that he's the cinematographer for this show. It's just stacking up, getting better and better. And we got this official photo. The official photo dropped of Aaron Pierre and Kyle Chandler is John Stewart and Hal Jordan. Which what do you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not in costume, but they did say that a lot of it would be Earth-based, so they may not necessarily need the costume, you know, depending on what they're doing. So
I need a costume.
You do. Yeah, I would love to see them in costume. But we do get the people may notice that he has a ring on, so there definitely is that. Kyle Chandler is wearing his ring.
You know, and I had a photo of the ring somewhere in here. Let's see if I can find it real quick because that ring definitely looked cool.
Can't tell if Aaron Pierre has one on or not, but he could possibly have one on. But yeah, I think they look great. Hal looks a little bit grizzled,
weathered. Yeah, weathered to say the least.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the marketing, the rollout? Because one thing that happened this week is they announced that they announced that they're bringing in this like marketing guru for the DCU rollout. And the Superman rollout has been questionable at best. There's been a lot of criticisms about the way that they've rolled out the Superman movie, from that less than flattering photo of him sitting in the chair putting his boots on, to a pretty strong teaser trailer, but then to like a very questionable second little teaser clip with the cross-eyed Superman.
Yeah.
And now James Gunn just shared this goofy photo of just boots. Just boots. Trying to get this photo.
Yeah, they also, I mean, part of what happened too with Superman is they had all of those unauthorized photos that were taken from buildings around the city where they were filming in the city.
They did have those, but they put out that crinkled suit in the chair photo.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
James Gunn himself put out that photo this week of just his boots, like we haven't already seen the suit from the trailer and stuff. It just seems like a really weird rollout to me. It seems like it's been a little bit less than flattering, to say the least. Let's see if I can get this in here. I got it. There we go. Oh no, slow. But with the lanterns, I was kind of impressed and kind of bummed. Obviously, I want to see him in the suit, so that's going on. It was cool that we got the shot of the ring. Who knows if this is what the ring will look like once he's all suited up and stuff? Is this like the incognito ring? Because it's got the gold across the top and bottom, just kind of green in the middle. There's just a random prop ring. It ain't meant to be looked up close and edited so that it's crystal clear kind of thing. But I did like the fact that the picture that they shared was a professional photo.
Yeah.
It was edited. You can kind of get the tone that you can expect from the show that's taking heavy inspirations from previous stuff seen on HBO, like True Detectives. So I love that about it for certain. And that ring looks cool.
It does.
That ring looks really cool. Let's see. People are going away from streaming now too. People just don't want to watch stuff anymore. Are people going away from streaming? Huh. I haven't seen anything. I haven't looked at any numbers lately. Let me see if I get up here in the chat. Been a lot of comments here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if they're going away from it. I don't say the problem with streaming, but part of what's going on with streaming is why not that they're going away from streaming. What they're doing is they're coming in and out of streaming. I think, they're like with Max, they're waiting until there's like 5 or 6 shows that they may want to watch. They're jumping in for a couple months, binging everything, and then jumping back out.
Yeah, you get people that rotate their streaming services and stuff. Kevin says Warner Brothers doesn't need cable TV anymore. I didn't even know cable TV still existed. HBO would be better putting all their programming straight to HBO Max where folks will watch and subscribe. So 100% of HBO goes to HBO Max. And then they also have Max originals that I don't think exists on cable, right? And that
HBO Max does not exist on cable, no.
No, but there's like Max originals and there's HBO originals. But
the Max originals that are just on Max are not on HBO.
Yeah. So yeah. There's 2 different ways that HBO is doing that there. But I mean, if people are still paying for that cable wire, you might as well get that money.
Yeah.
I'd like all DC stuff to be on Max. Yeah, dude, I would trust it better. I'd trust it over there for sure. I mean, HBO is like got damn near flawless record.
Yeah.
Gunn called Linoff a hack on social media a few years ago. I wonder how this meeting went. LOL. Must have gone okay. He's calling him a hack. That's laughable, right? I'm not the only one thing that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Green Lantern Fracture Spectrum was one of the best one-shots I've ever read. The book is great. So pumped for the show. Yeah, where the Green Lantern comics are right now are pretty solid. HBO Max is a success that keeps Warner Brothers afloat. Film division is struggling right now. Yeah, films in general have had a rough past couple of years with a few hits spread out here and there. The only thing getting to watch this, Aaron Pierre, the only thing getting me to watch this is Aaron Pierre, the Jon Stewart. I love seeing that. Yeah, We've been campaigning hard for this guy over here long before that he was announced as even being in the pool of possibilities. We watched Rebel Ridge,
Mhm.
and I'm like, wait, dude, this is crazy. And he played like a Marine in that. I'm like, this is John Stewart. Like I was even hesitant to watch that movie, but my buddy Bart in Belgium was like, hey, you need to check this movie Rebel Ridge out. It's like a modern retelling of Rambo in a sense. I'm like, I've seen Rambo. He's like, yeah, but give it a shot. This actor's cool as hell. I'm like, all right. And I fired it up within like the first 15 minutes. I'm like, dude, this is John Stewart. I'm like on social media. Hey, do y'all know this guy? It was cool. Max is a success because of dragons. Dragons alone would pull it, but Max's,
Mm.
man, they don't have any misses. Love it.
Yeah, I think Max is a success. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say what.
These
There's
predate Max. They
yeah,
came with bangers that people rewatch forever.
yeah.
Sopranos, Oz, True
Sopranos,
Detective,
exactly. Yeah.
The Wire. Like
Hmm.
HBO doesn't miss. Game of Thrones is on. Like even Game of Thrones is so heavily criticized, it's still getting views. It'll
Hmm.
always get views. Yeah. Well, Steve, dragons are badass. Yeah, true, very true. Ryan Reynolds loaned them the ring. He's going to need a loan with all the legal stuff they're dealing with.
Hmm.
Blake Lively just hired a PR person to come in and help her out. I am going to give Absolute Green Lantern a read. I hope it's good like the rest of the Absolute Universe. Yeah, me too, man. It's Al Ewing taking it on. It's got a good cast. You got Hal, John, and Joe all there from the start. It's supposed to be a cosmic horror tone book.
Right.
I'm in
Although it's
for
going
it.
to kind of focus, at least the beginning, on Joe.
Primarily on Joe, yeah. Warner Brother needs box office wins. I couldn't agree more. And
That's
I
why.
think no matter what, how good or bad Superman is, that's going to be a box office success.
Yeah, and that's why I'm sure they can't get Peter Jackson's new Lord of the Rings movies done fast enough.
No. And I think they got delayed here recently, didn't they?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, Mike said it was a knock on Rob Liefeld posting up Superman's feet. I saw someone edited in his red trunks down by his feet. Like, oh my god. It's like he was out there taking a piss. I don't trust Gunn at all. Thought he was going to be Kevin Feige, but he seems too invasive and a bit vain. That comes off way less invasive to me than Kevin Feige. I mean, just look
Mm.
at the other projects. Look at Green Lanterns alone. Like him saying, "Yeah, let's go this direction." But it looks like just from the all we really have to go off of is Superman and Lantern so far. The next thing we'll see is Supergirl, but we see where like Mangold's attached to Clayface and the creative teams on this. They announced 3 of the directors so far for the individual episodes. James Gunn's not as long as he lets them do their job and the
Mhm.
tone looks different and all that stuff. That's where Feige and the MCU went wrong. It all became just a clone of each other. Every project was the same as the last one. But it didn't start that way. Phase 1, they all had their own tone and feel. Thor felt sword and sorcery. Captain America felt that spy thriller and stuff. And I trust Gunn based on his track record. Hope he is veiny. There you go. Lanterns, because our suits are being cleaned. Yeah, I can't wait to see the suits. And I grabbed this for the thumbnail. It's like a fan mock-up or something, but that reminds me a lot of the
That's the
what was
Earth
it called?
One.
Year
The
one,
Earth
yeah,
One.
Earth One, yeah.
Yeah.
They gotta swing for the fences with these suits when they do them because a lot of DC heads out there, the biggest pushback that this DCU has is against the Snyder fans. And Scott gave us this photo.
Hmm.
That in my opinion, that's a perfect Green Lantern suit.
Hmm.
Like that just looks cool as hell. Even with the emblem off of the chest and everything, like the
Yeah.
Jeff
That
John
that
era.
say that's the Ethan Van Sciver art
Yeah,
that he would do.
amazing. So I mean, I'm very excited to see what it looks like. And then of course we have this thing. Looks like it came out of a Cracker Jack box. I'm just kidding. It looks a lot like the Ryan Reynolds
I looked
ring.
at the Ryan Reynolds one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh man, I'm nervous for this DCU stuff. I want it to be good so bad. Yeah,
Me too.
where are you at on the excitement meter for all this stuff? Or are you still like for
But
Superman? Everyone in the
oh,
chat too, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you?
I can't wait for it. I think David Cornsweet. I know that it can be difficult to say his name, but I think he's going to blow people away. I really do.
First Blood, Mike. I'm so sorry. It's funny you knew what I meant, though. James Gunn trying to do all this by himself. That's not a good thing. He's going to need help in order for DC Studios to succeed. Well, he has help, right?
Yeah, Peter Safran.
Well, he has Peter Safran, but also like you hire someone to make a movie for you. James Gunn isn't making all these movies. He's making Superman, and we don't even have the next movie that he's making. We don't have a clue. Someone else is doing Lobo, or Supergirl. Someone else is doing Lantern. Someone else is doing Clayface. Someone else is doing Brave and the Bold. Which, as this week he said, he stepped in this art, thinking of like direction and scripts for that. But he's definitely not doing all this by himself.
Although he did indicate that he knew what his next movie was going to be.
That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this brings up the next thing I have in here. I thought Gunn would have greenlit a Justice League International, a Question, and a Plastic Man movie, all up his alley, and would trust him. So I know like there's been a lot of Plastic Man discussion, and we actually know where Plastic Man's going to pop up. And these were some of the most recent announcements they made. So DC Animation has been at the top of a lot of people's lists for a long time. The DCAU was amazing. It's been a long time since we've had it. And wondering where the animation studio is going to be going from there. It looks like we got our first announcements this past week. We got 3 separate shows announced, all animated. Starfire, My Adventures with Green Lantern, so more Lantern content. They're really banking on and leaning into that. And then Superpowers, where Superpowers, I know Plastic Man was in some of the conversation about that as one of the characters there. You basically have young superheroes at a school with Principal John Jones leading the instruction and stuff. It's going to be, that's clearly aimed for the younger kids, but Plastic Man will be appearing in there.
My Adventures with Green Lantern will be set in the same universe as My Adventures with Superman. It's going to focus on Jessica Cruz.
There we go. Finally, some Jessica Cruz love. Mm-hmm. And then Starfire. I don't know what age range that might be toward, but just the trade dress, the logo, the whatever you want to call it, it looks very kiddie to me. It looks very kiddie.
Yeah.
They said she's going to be off in space, discovering her potential, petting space dolphins and all kinds of other stuff. So I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't think they need to waste $1 on superpowers. I don't think they need to waste $1 on Starfire. My Adventures with Superman has been a massive hit, so I can understand them wanting to do something else inside that universe. But to me, this all seems crazy. Like, where's our next animated movie?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be the Dynamic Duo, right?
Is that animated or is that puppets?
Well, it's kind of thing is going to be animation puppet. It's going to be like a combination of a lot of things. But he said the goal, I guess, again, I hate when they say the goal. Just, to me, you put out movies when you think they're going to be good and when they're ready. You don't say we're going to put out two live action movies and 1 animated movie per year and 2 live action series and 2 animated series per year.
That's 7. That's 7 projects. Right. 7 freaking projects a year when we're just getting Disney to finally hit the brakes and slow down. And that's my biggest complaint about what happened this past week with these announcements is announcing that you want to put out 7 projects a year. That doesn't give anybody time to enjoy any of this stuff.
Right.
When any movie is a big hit, even if it's not a comic book movie, you have a franchise that's a hit, people want to go see it. They want to go see it again. They want to talk about it with people. They want to get online and share the fandom. You go to work and talk about it. You see merchandise out there. You want to buy it. You're investing into that IP more and more off that one project. They're cutting their own heads off for making any money putting stuff out that fast. And who's going to go see all those in theaters or
right? The only thing I can say is, especially on the TV side, if they can make each of these, especially on the TV, if they can make them stand alone, meaning, you know what happens at the end of one of them doesn't have to necessarily be picked up in another one, you can almost kind of wall it off and make it its own thing. I can see where maybe that might work as opposed to Marvel, who seems to kind of want to have the same DNA tying project after project, whether it happens to be TV or movies. It might work better. But yeah, that's very ambitious. Very ambitious.
That's crazy. I think saying it's very ambitious is accurate, but it's putting it nicely. Do you remember when you get like one of these big movies like once every like 18 months to
Mhm,
24 months? Like that was like a proper pace. Like
mhm,
that's okay because like as a consumer, I know like they're only thinking about their studio, but they're costing their studio money, but no one's going to just like from a consumer standpoint, no one's only going to be like, well, is this Warner Brothers? Because I don't watch anything but Warner Brothers. No one does that. So
right,
no matter you're not considering what else comes out that year, not even in just the superhero genre, but in just any genre. Let Avatar. I mean, this is a great year for an example. You got Jurassic Park, Avatar, Mission Impossible. Those have nothing to do with Marvel and DC, and there's going to be big audiences going to see all of those, and then thinking, I just spent $100 going to the movies last month. I can't do that again this
right.
month. So that's 3 times in July, which I'll be
Yes,
doing.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
going to hurt.
yep. And it's funny too because with that slide you have right there, I can point out that at least one, two, three, at least three, four of them are things that he has said. You know what? We're really not actively really doing right now because we don't know where we're going with these.
Yeah, Batman, Brave and the Bold, uh,
Yeah, Waller,
Paradise Lost,
Booster
Waller,
Gold, Authority.
Booster Gold. Yeah. Authority took a weird trajectory, went from being in the initial slate of announcements
Hmm.
to being downgraded to an animated feature to being put on the back burner this past week because they think that it's kind of a tough project for them. They said it's very too similar to the boys
Hmm.
and just get rid of it. I mean, as cool as it would be, get rid of it. It's not the time, it's not the place. Get rid of it. But this week, right alongside of the Starfire announcement, they also confirmed the Teen Titans movie script is being worked on. All while Sergeant Rock has lost its lead actor,
Hmm.
who was like a 50-something-year-old actor, and then they immediately said we got a backup and went to a 20-something-year-old actor, and
Yeah.
then he's like, let's pull this up on the phone, see if I'm back.
Look, you're back now. Yeah, you were
Yeah,
you were
that's it. It went black on my end.
you were frozen and very tinny, but now you're
Oh,
back.
okay. But yeah, Daniel Radcliffe was rumored to be the front runner this past week for Clayface, and James Gunn
Hmm.
came out himself and said that's not the thing. That's not happening. So we don't know anything about that. We do have a director, we have a budget, we have a premise. So I don't know, man. This is just a strange trajectory. Before this thing even gets off the ground, look how many projects they're
Hmm.
stating that they're doing.
Right.
It's absolutely crazy. But we had a lot of people weigh in on their excitement level for the Superman film. Where are you at on a 1 to 10?
I'm I'm at a 9.5 for excitement.
I'd say excitement wise, I'd say I'm at probably about a 7 because of how damn nervous I am. Like I want to go in there and just I think like my love for Superman is just gonna like take over at some point. Because just whenever I watch that trailer,
Hmm.
just that like 3-second clip when he flies in and grabs that kid and like takes the hit from that explosion, that
Hmm.
still gets me every time. Just that 3 seconds. I'm like, that's some Superman stuff right there. But I don't know. This seems very very crazy to me. News about superpowers. Yeah, he says Starfire's for kids. I like
Yeah.
how Superpowers logo is taken from the classic action figure toys. Yep. Feels like it's all for kids. Yes, it does. Animated shows should be all ages. Bruce Timm stuff all holds up even as an adult. Yeah,
Hmm.
that it most definitely does. Hope Superpowers stop motion using Mego action figures. What was that, Robot Chicken?
Mm.
I dig an animated Hourman series with the android and
Yeah.
Sapper Card. That'd be cool. Hey, did you see we had Toy Fair this weekend.
Yeah.
You see the figures that were on display? Hourman from McFarlane.
I did not see that.
Yeah,
Really.
looked pretty solid. Tate dropping that 20-month member milestone.
Get them
Appreciate
while you
it.
can.
Yeah. Oh, come on, man. It looks like it'll get us through a lot of 2026 before it expires. And it still hasn't been confirmed that he's losing his DC license. It's just saying that Mattel has acquired a DC license,
Right.
but we don't know the details of it yet. Everyone's scrambling to try to get some information from McFarlane, but it's just
Yeah, and he could still be doing some of the resin sketches that he does and things like that. I mean, Mattel doesn't really do that stuff.
one movie and do your best. That's it. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
They can keep pumping out movies that aren't passing their budget, or they can just drop a $800 million hit, $1 billion hit. 7 is too many. Yeah, it's way too many. In the past year, most movies are going from theater to streaming void in less than 60 days. Yeah, that's way too fast. Sorry for being hyper about Gunn. No, that's fine. That man just doesn't impress me. Happy for you guys. Dude, I get it. I don't have a lot of faith in just James Gunn's Guardian of the Galaxy style tone does not translate to the character Superman. That's not what this movie should feel like. It shouldn't feel like Guardians with DC characters. It shouldn't feel like that. And we saw early reports stating that it's not going to be as funny as what did he compare it to? He said it's not going to be as funny as the Suicide Squad. Well, I sure as hell hope not.
Right.
But then they put out stuff saying it's going to have a lot of comedy in it. It just doesn't need to be that at all.
Did you see they're doing 4 crypto shorts too?
Why?
Don't know.
It's a shared universe. The end of Superman does not have to lead to the next movie. It can be a teaser. Yeah, I think they've already like expressed how they're going to be doing this differently. It's more comparable to Star Wars than it is to the MCU, where you get a Star Wars story at any given time and place in the Star Wars.
And you may see things that connect things, but they're not dependent upon each other for the story.
Yep. I don't go to theaters anymore unless Mark drags me, which is often. That posting has 22 titles. Good God. That's crazy. And only one of them has been released. Technically 2 if you count Peacemaker Season 1, which, man, August is coming fast. Yeah, that's this year too. Peacemaker's this year. So we've had the Penguin, Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, Superman, all this year off of this list alone.
Well, the Penguin was last year.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. If that Superman film isn't a smash hit, the studio will get rid of everything and we won't ever see anything on that list except for Supergirl. We'll see the stuff that's already production. Supergirl, Peacemaker Season 2. I think that's probably it. Lanterns. I'm good. Give me Lanterns. I'm good. Ugh. Gun abducted Mark. Yeah. IRFS thought it was me. No, on this end. With Carl Urban being Johnny Cage, I think Urban could be a good Sergeant Rock. Yeah, the idea of having a 20, 30-something-year-old Sergeant Rock is crazy to me. I second that Hourman animated. That would be dope. Yeah. I'm a big Android Hourman fan there. I'm 9 and partly due to Creature Commandos. First project gained my trust. Creature Commandos didn't do much along the lines of instilling much trust for me. I don't know. That screen is in every Soup's project. He could have just flown by and saved the kid. Oh, this is funny. Forgot to tell you, there's an upcoming issue of Empire Magazine that will be featuring things from the new Superman movie. Don't know when it's coming out, but keep your eyes out for it. What's funny is I was talking to Pops earlier today about that, and not about the Superman aspect. I was telling him how I watch out for Empire Magazine because they always get like those exclusive early interviews and they're giving photos and stuff. And I was telling him I'm waiting for the Green Lantern stuff to come out of there.
Yeah, the problem, it's a British magazine, and sometimes it takes a couple weeks for it to come out. So it's probably going to be pretty close to actually all those things coming out.
Yeah. So. And the good thing about this too, though, is because of the internet, we all see it at the same time.
Right. But Barnes & Noble usually carries it, so I usually get mine at Barnes & Noble.
Nice. Yeah, as soon as it drops, it just is, the images are just shared everywhere. Yeah, throw everything you got at the wall and see what sticks. Beckerman says, from what I know, Pa Kent isn't played by Michael Rooker, so maybe Gunn can ignore some of his instincts. And Michael Rooker's going to be in there somewhere. It's weird. Been disappointed with DC, but been loving Marvel lately. Saw Cap twice. Yo, that's crazy. And can't wait for the Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. All those Doom, yeah, they had Kevin Feige drop all those. It was Feige himself who dropped them and then took them down, gave people time to save the pictures.
Yeah, run out, make sure they still had Secret Wars #2.
Yeah, the photos did nothing for me. You got like Doctor Doom who's gonna be using Scarlet Witch in place of Molecule Man to like make his own little world. It's gonna be like Dungeons and Dragons Avengers brand. I don't know. That universe is just so destroyed and shattered and like soulless at this point. I don't care what you do with these characters inside of it. There's nothing left in the tank. Captain Marvel was that was a production nightmare. There are some fun action scenes in it, but that's wild that I commend you for seeing it twice. I hope you weren't one of the 2 people in that theater in Washington where the you
I was say the ceiling crashed. Luckily, it was a Captain America movie, so no one was hurt.
Two people were in there, and they said, "Don't worry, they weren't hurt." Look, the whole ceiling came down and managed to miss the entire audience because it was non-existent. It's crazy what they've done to that universe. Oh, that's terrible. The director said Sergeant Rock won't be in World War II, but said in the future. When you say the future, you're just like current time, maybe not like the future, like what they did with Jonah Hex and that. What was that Jonah Hex run where he's like in the future or something for a while?
Yeah, like Jonah Hex 3000 or something like that.
When did he announce that, Joe? Send me a link. Because as of yesterday, people were at the toy fair trying to go have a conversation with McFarlane employees to get details. That would be a great time for a Wizard Zine Resurrection. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't suspect that he's going to have the license when Mattel starts. But even if that's the case, Mattel did confirm that theirs doesn't kick in till latter half of 2026, and there'll even be some overlap with the Spin Master stuff. How they do like the little 3-inch figures and all that. Hex is in the series. What's going on, Retroverse? Hello. Ceiling crash. That Regal 3D 40X is really in your face. Yeah. Oh God, in the future, like Jason X. Well, you have me at Jason X. I'll just go rewatch that then. Oh man, this is super nerve wracking. I hope they can get it. That's too much content. I hope that that's just like optimism right now, and it doesn't play out like that. But if they're doing stuff like how numerous ones of the projects are animated for younger audience and stuff, much like that Spider-Man show, nobody will watch it, but they're still interested in the live action movies. And as long as they're not contingent on each other, it won't really harm the live action movies.
Yeah, and the other part, which maybe he has, but you know what? Have the accountant signed off on paying for all of these things that every single year, 7 different projects?
Probably. I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably, but we know how this goes. Like if they don't perform, they're just taken down. We know Batman 2 is good to go. We know Supergirl's good. Superman, Creature Commandos, Lanterns, Clayface, Peacemaker, Sergeant Rock. We know Swamp Thing's good. So yeah, most of these, legit. Most of these on this list, save for like Booster, Bane, Paradise Lost, Authority. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not very many on here that aren't.
Creature Commandos was apparently also fast-tracked to get to a season 2.
Yeah. Sergeant Rock should not be Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. All right, Herb, take it easy. I appreciate you popping in. Absolutely. I'll do, man. Yeah. Hate to hear that. I hope everything gets better for you, my dude. I appreciate you hopping in. All right, let's switch it over because I'm getting nervous just looking at all that stuff. Let's talk about what, in my opinion, remains to be the most optimistic part of comic books right now. The most exciting thing to come out of New York Comic Con 2023 was the start of the Ghost Machine universe, what started as Mad Ghost with Geiger and Junkyard Joe exploded into a vibrant universe of numerous different titles under different banners from countless creators. And the cool thing about these creators is every single one of you knows them. And not only that, you love their work before this Ghost Machine thing ever started. If you did not see it, go back and check out the stream where Paul and myself hung out with Jeff Johns. Who else was on there? Jason Fabak,
Brian Hitch, and
Brian freaking Hitch. Yeah, we hung out with them for a little bit over an hour talking about all this. the day before it launched, literally the day before it launched, and we're going to check back in with it. So for those that don't know, you should know, and by the end of the stream, you will know. Ghost Machine is on fire. You got Jeff Johns and Gary Frank writing the main title that kickstarted it all. Geiger, the Glowing Man, a post-apocalyptic story set in the future after the unknown war destroyed all the Earth. It's just a wasteland, and this radioactive man travels across the countryside, trying to survive, fighting for his life, saving people along the way. Ultimately, it gets to the story we're at now, where he's looking for a solution to his problem. Without these tungsten rods, he's unable to control his radioactiveness, where he turns into like a glowing skeleton, basically. And it looks like he's going to be slowly dying from it. With the help of his sidekick named Nate, who he's heard rumors that the glowing man Geiger is not the only one of them. And there's someone else out there who is able to cure themselves. So they've been traveling across the wasteland, fighting for their life with their trusty animal companions to try to find this person. And in the most recent issue, they did. And it was a character by the name of Ash Arden, who very much looks like Geiger from the tungsten rods and everything. And along the way, right before they get there, none other than Junkyard Joe makes his triumphant return to the story. And he's now tagging along with them and help them make it the final mile to arrive here. And Ash Arden claims that she can teach him to control these powers so that he doesn't harm those around him and stuff. And that's where we kind of left it off. And I'm looking forward to this issue. It'll be the next issue. We don't know yet if Ash Arden's going to end up being an ally, a new addition to the story, or judging from this cover, she looks like she could potentially flip her lid and end up being a villain. Paul, two questions. One, how are the Oscars going?
Dune 2 just won for sound.
That's one.
Yeah. And if you can see down in the bottom right-hand corner of that cover, you can see there's a kind of a common thread through a couple of the stories. One is Geiger, Junkyard Joe, and Redcoat. Is this thing called the Unnamed War, which you don't have a lot of details about at all yet. It also will involve I can't think of her name now, but the president in the White House. That'll have the Unnamed War as well, right? I can think of yeah, there we go. So
you couldn't think of it because it hasn't been told to us yet, except on this one page here.
Right.
And we'll get back to this, but President Sarah Nash.
Yeah. So there's something that has to do with the Unnamed War. They've been fighting the Unnamed. There's this Unnamed War that's going on. Again, not a lot of details. I'm thinking that's going to be somewhere. There's going to be some miniseries somewhere down the road where they're going to bring in all of these characters into one story. If I had to guess, but
yeah. So they give us this timeline of all the. So not all the Ghost Machine stuff shares the same universe. Like you have a horror universe on its own, another one called Family Odyssey, but the main one with most of the stories that do share a timeline is the Unnamed War timeline, or the Unknown. And it's basically saying like all the way back from the 1700s with the birth of this character Redcoat, all the way to the date set of Geiger, which is sometime in the distant near future kind of thing. An unknown war has been waged all throughout here that connects all this somehow, and we're getting to slowly discover it, and we don't have any details yet, which is one of the like biggest driving points for me, that they're slow rolling this. They're creating this world, they're introducing us to these characters. They're not just throwing us into like the in-game level of any of this stuff. But it's been pretty dope. Mike says he's not a fan of the way that Ash Arden looks, because it's too similar to Geiger with the suit, the cloak, the rods. Yeah, that's super fair. I thought the same thing when I saw him. They have the same tailor.
yeah, yeah, and we also there's one other character that I didn't bring up because we'll talk about it, I'm sure, when we get to Redcoat. But there's a character that has just started to come back into the story under Redcoat as well, that is part of the Unnamed War as well. So
you get into it. Redcoat was the next big one. My personal favorite one.
Yeah, exactly. Mine too, because of that history and everything. But Redcoat is basically Simon Pure. He is a man in the British Army during the Revolutionary War. He is in the wrong place at the wrong time when these people from the colonial, the American side,
The founding
the
fathers.
founding fathers, decide to have some sort of a mystical, magical type of a thing, and he is suddenly struck, and he is basically made immortal. at that time. And so we follow him first in the Revolutionary War, and then we see him hook up with Albert Einstein, who then goes with him because Albert Einstein's sister has had this vision of a destruction of America, and he wants to try to help stop it. And so he hooks up with Simon Pure. They end up back in America. They find Benedict Arnold, who also happens to be immortal as well. And lots of things going. But there's also another thing called the Northerner, who is the person that I was talking about. We see like very quick glimpses of him in some of the other things that have come out, and then we see him at the end of the very last issue. We see him kind of in a full panel at the end. So the Northerner will start to. We don't know whether he's aligned with Simon Pure, whether they're enemies. We don't know any of that stuff yet. So,
but we do know that he wears a uniform of a Civil War soldier, where Simon wears that of a Revolutionary era soldier. The Northerner has like future tech boots on, modern era of firearms, and he's wearing his Northern outfit from the Civil War. So it's pretty interesting stuff with that. Like, I'm excited to see what he does.
Like Dune just won special effects too.
Let's go. Rightfully so. You know he's going to win them next year, right?
I'm thinking Avatar, probably.
Yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir. Avatar. That's right. Yes,
if there is a God.
Yeah. So the unnamed timeline has been on fire, and then with kind of going in order with them, Junkyard Joe was a 6-issue limited mini series that we got. Joe first appeared in the pages of Geiger, but when you go back to his own timeline, he's a robot that was built to fight in Vietnam, and the story goes like he was like one of the few survivors of the platoon he was assigned to, and it's a robot that developed a soul more or less. There's this shadowy organization with ties to the founding fathers that's ran, the least of this unit is ran by a character called the Custodian, who has a very vested interest in getting Joe, and so much so that they even wear masks that look like Joe. And the interesting part is this story took place in modern times, but fast forward back to the most recent issues of Geiger, the Custodian is back and still tracking, looking for Joe, but he just calls him the robot. So while Joe's out linked up with Geiger, the Custodian, at the orders of the post-apocalyptic President Griffin, is out looking for Joe. So how that's tying back to its miniseries, Junkyard Joe 6-issue limited series was a lot of people's favorite, rightfully so. It was one that really pulled on your heartstrings. It was like a proper love letter to veterans out there and everything. They even ran this little campaign, so sales of the books or something like that went to a veteran organization or something, and they spotlighted actual veterans in the back of the book and stuff. It was really, really cool how they did that.
And these were the best covers, by the way.
Yeah, from Buy Me Comics and more. Buy Me
Toys.
Yeah, Buy Me Toys. Yeah. I love a painted cover, man.
Mm.
Can't wait for Rook to come back. It left us with one heck of a WTF moment. It really did. And Rook was the other big one. This one is a lot of people's fan favorite. So far as we know, it exists as a complete standalone. The characters down there in the corner closest to Paul, you've got Rook and Direwolf down there. The whole premise of this is the Earth is too far from gone. So a company called Better World has taken to the stars with a bunch of people from Earth to go to a planet called Exodus, where they're going to terraform it, bring vegetation over, bring plants and animals, and try to set up Earth 2.0 basically. And you have these characters with these masks with this technology in them that helps them have dominion over the animals so that they could kind of keep track. And that's their job, like control the animals there, get them to, populate, don't kill people, get out there and start becoming part of the ecosystem. Well, everything goes south pretty fast. Better World leaves behind a lot of people, including a lot of its wardens, who are now having pretty much a civil war amongst each other for supremacy of this planet. And you pretty much had Rook and a couple of his allies going up against this character called Ursal and his band of villainous wastelanders. And it was wicked. They're fighting over the technology there. They're fighting over the helmets. They're fighting over territory. And it gets into how this planet is not the same dynamic as Earth. So much like in the old Cretaceous period, and the oxygen levels were a little bit different. Insects would grow bigger. You had, Komodo dragons the size of vehicles and stuff like that. That's kind of how Exodus is. The animals grow larger and more ferocious. And the main villain, Ursal, had the same side effect as well. He was a larger than life Bane-like character, and it kind of left us with this cliffhanger that Dire Wolf's father is still alive. Who Dire Wolf was one of the chief scientists in charge of training the other wardens and such, and her dad was the one that invented the technology that these people use to survive on this planet. So that's kind of what everyone's waiting on. The book went on hiatus after the first story arc, and it's coming back later this year to jump back in it. Jeff Johns is writing it along with the rest of the first launch stuff, the first wave of books. And Jason Fabak is doing some of the most killer artwork of his career inside the pages.
Yeah, I wonder if that comes back in June, I think.
Hopefully.
But so, well, like Mark said, there are basically 4 different universes. There's the Unnamed War, there's Rook, there is the Odyssey, Hyde Street, and then Odyssey are the 4. Mm-hmm. Hyde Street is kind of the horror part. The Odyssey is kind of like the sci-fi family type thing. It has Rockefellers, it has going to be in Halo, yeah, exactly, all those. But we do know that they all exist together as well, because there was there you go. Go ahead, talk about that. This was in the Hyde Street.
Rockefellers issue number 2. The character you see in the top left and the bottom right. So going back, Peter J. Tomasi is writing the Family Odyssey stuff, the Rockefellers and Hornsby and Halo. And in the Rockefellers, it's a future family, that are running for their lives right from the start of it, from that creature in the background that's chasing them. And they use a little bit of time travel to go back to our time to hide in time from it. And this character is still trying to look for him. And we're kind of playing out why they stole this item and went running for their lives. But inside the page of issue 2, that character was looking through the known universes to try to spot them somewhere. And we got this beautiful 2-page splash that the trade dresses were not included on it. Those are added after the fact here. But we got this beautiful 2-page splash that really showed us that all of this stuff is in some form or fashion connected, though the stories aren't connecting, and they clearly exist the same. You got all of them represented here. Plus, we got our first in continuity look at President Nash from First Ghost, which this past week they started really promoting a little bit with no pictures or anything, just the trade dress. But Brad Meltzer was announced that he'll be joining Ghost Machine, and this is his first title that he'll be working on, First Ghost.
Man, and he's like you, Mark. He loves a good conspiracy.
Does he?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really? He writes some books. That's for sure. Award-winning author.
He did a whole History Channel thing about all these different, like he did it about Mount Rushmore, and what's in the back and the vault in Mount Rushmore, and it's like the Denver airport, and like
Oh, I love the Denver airport, dude. Yeah. And here's a shot of the Northerner that we mentioned earlier. So we don't have any good details on the First Ghost, but that's the most recent one that's coming. So I actually pulled my copy and got this photo out of President Sarah Nash. We got this character profile page back with the Ghost Machine one-shot that kickstarted all this. But this week they actually officially announced Brad Meltzer with Jeff Johns and Gene Ha. I'm kind of interested to see that Brad and John's names are both on here. Mm-hmm. It's weird if we have 2 writers. But also a big one that came out in the announcement, if you look down on the bottom of this one, right in the middle, you see Devour. That was a spinoff of Hyde Street, which is our horror story. It was a spinoff one-shot. We got our second one announced, and it's not even just a one-shot. This is going to be a limited series from Maytal. I would butcher her last name. But they're expanding Hyde Street with a series of almost anthology-like stories, just kind of spotlighting different characters on Hyde Street, which this is one of my favorite ones. I get it. I'm excited to go straight to the top of my read stack every week when it comes in. And this is super fun. So the whole concept behind this is Hyde Street exists in every city and every block kind of thing. And if you're not careful, you can find yourself there through like a series of bad decisions. And what is on Hyde Street is this crazy cast of characters. You have Mr. X-Ray there with his handout, the woman from the nutrition store. You have Pranky, the world's most dangerous Boy Scout, and more characters. And it's almost like a cabin in the woods kind of scenario. There's somebody watching all these characters, and their job is to collect souls for this person. We don't know who this person is, haven't seen this person, don't know the motivations, don't know their hows or whys, but we're getting to know the backstory of these characters along the way and how they ended up on Hyde Street. Now that they're there, they have to practically kill people to get their souls and turn them in. And once they get enough souls, they're allowed to leave Hyde Street. And it's an interesting dynamic because not everybody wants to leave Hyde
Hey,
Street.
Frankie got to his number a long time ago.
Long time ago. And now he's stealing souls from other people because he's just enjoying his time there. His time in the real world was terrible. We had his backstory. He had a war veteran father who was an alcoholic and whose wife was gone and took his angers and frustrations out on the kid. And you'd think you'd feel sorry for the kid, but he's such a sadistic SOB. You just kind of don't. And we got our first big reveal that I've been waiting on, because the way this is treated, this whole Ghost Machine thing, it's like a love letter to comic books. And we get the order page. What would you call one of those?
A subscription page.
Yeah, with all the stuff that you can order and buy out of the
all right.
of the comic.
Yep. Yeah. It's just it was basically just like an ad page, whatever, and you can buy all the.
And they created all these fake ads to put in there to make it feel authentic. And it seems like all the stuff in the ad page is slowly becoming parts of the story, all the way down to Mr. X-Ray's glasses. You can buy this monster cutout, and that's the monster that's like kind of there in the center next to Mr. X-Ray's hand. And we got our first glimpse at him in issue 3 of Hyde Street, where Pranky and Mr. X-Ray are actually working together. Pranky's trying to show him how to collect these souls so well, because Pranky's been told, like, dude, you got to chill out, quit taking all these souls from everybody, or we're going to kick you out of here. So he's trying to be nice to his fellow Hyde Streeters. And in the process of them tormenting this guy, out of nowhere, this giant monster looking like Frankenstein's monster just busts in, takes the guy from them, and saves him. Doesn't collect his soul, saves them from eternal damnation. So we're waiting for the next issue to come out where we'll be introduced to this character proper and hopefully some backstory. We do have the working name for him called the Matinee Monster. He's not Frankenstein. He's called the Matinee Monster. Where over in Geiger, we're introduced to President Griffin, who's wrapped up in bandages. He literally looks just like the Invisible Man and even shares his same name. And then over here, we have this guy looking like Frankenstein called the Monster that's called the Matinee Monster. It looks like they're playing a little loose with some public domain monster characters that they're putting their own spin on. So I'm super excited to see what they do with that. Devour was major creepy. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Lizard people. Exactly, Pops. Gene Ha will be what gets me to buy that book if I get it. I hope you do get it, man. Ghost Machine all the way. Bad Decisions. Oh, snap. I need to check and see if I'm still on the street and not Hyde Street. Alan Moore did the fake ad pages in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which is a phenomenal series. Talking about the Invisible Man, he sure gets it.
Yeah, and there are, like Mark said, there are these threads that run throughout every issue as well. But for the most part, every issue is also kind of self-contained. It's kind of like an episode of the Twilight Zone almost.
Yeah.
In fact, it even kind of starts in some ways, or ends, like you're now leaving the Twilight Zone, or you're now leaving Hyde Street.
It's really cool. Yeah, I'm super digging it. I hope everybody gives it a shot. Now, I'll be honest with you. Out of all of it, Geiger's been fantastic from issue 1. Junkyard Joe it's moving. It's so good. When they expanded and launched, Geiger continued to be great. Rook blew me away, but Redcoat is really like my favorite, and that was like phase 1. And really, that's like one of those things where they're all fantastic, and then it's just your personal preference or taste kind of takes over. Kind of like how we talk about the Absolute line at DC. They're all good, but it's like what's your kind of personal taste kind of stacks up. But they started their second wave, and they introduced us to Hyde Street, which I love. Ivan Reis is doing the art, and it's killer. And then they brought in Rockefellers, which I've been highly enjoying. It's fun. It's got a good balance to it. It's not it's an any age book, but it doesn't feel kiddie, and it's definitely not vulgar in any sense. But it's got action, some wild sci-fi stuff, and it's got some like visuals. The way that the bad guy is with it's almost like a person that's been reconstructed countless times. Like, you remember the Clockwork villain from Hellboy? That guy that would he had the blades in his sleeves and he could wind himself up.
Yeah.
And there's that scene when he's taking off all this stuff, and you can see where he's experimented on himself. So he doesn't have lips anymore, and it doesn't have eyelids, and it's kind of just creepy in that sense. It's not meant to be overly grotesque, but it's like, oh, that's kind of how the villain in Rockefellers is. So it's not like it's overtly gory or anything, but it's a little wild. But Hornsby and Halo, that one's a little different. The whole premise behind this is very Jack Kirby New Gods. You have the war, the eternal battle of good and evil happening in a different realm. It's heaven and hell is what it is. And they're even called celestials, which is kind of funny because now we're kind of leaning into another Kirby property here. But so they broker a deal, a ceasefire, if you will. They started with a ceasefire, and once they stopped fighting, they all came to the table and they made a deal. And what they decided is, we're going to take this celestial baby angel and we're going to give it to these demons on earth to raise. They look like people. They act like they're demons, kind of thing. The parents run a mortuary, very 6 feet underish, but they take people's money, give them crappy funerals, then they go exhume the body and rob it blind and go hawk all this stuff. They're terrible people, but their son is a little angel. Literally, he just doesn't know it. And then on the flip side, the little demon girl was given to a couple that volunteer all their time at a shelter, and just everyone loves them. They're just the sweetest ever. And it's a classic nature versus nurture kind of scenario. But the only bad thing is, this is just the premise. The execution isn't really getting there.
Yeah, I've said from the beginning that to me this is like the New Gods premise, the Jack Kirby's New God premise. They're trying to have Peter Tomasi do the Super Son spin on the New Gods premise.
It's exactly what it is. And there's a lot of potential in that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if something's not original, just how good are you telling your story? There's nothing new under the sun. So you got to do good. Because if you're too similar to something, you're going to think about the other stuff. And currently right now, New Gods is one of the best comic books out there. So you have some tough competition. But my whole thing with it is, it's just, let's get into it already. Like, you should have started with a bigger bang and then gave us something to look forward to coming back to. But it's just kind of slow moving. Now, this is under the Family Odyssey imprint, so it kind of could be kind of difficult to balance that all ages kind of thing. I don't really know what this book is wanting to be yet in that sense. I know it's meant to be all ages, but just the concepts in it just seem a little large to begin with. So I guess I don't know. The artwork's fine. It's the least of all of them. I mean, you got Francis Manifold on Rockefellers, Ivan Reese on Hyde Street, Jason Fabak, Gary Frank, Brian Hitch. And is this Snersberg doing this?
Yeah, Pierce Snersberg or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he does a good job. It definitely looks like how the book is supposed to feel, if that makes sense. I really feel like the art is doing the tone setting in that sense. But I'm just ready for it to get going. In issue 3, the two kids discovered that they do have these abilities, but they weren't able to fully access them or anything. So they're literally running from zombies half cocked, like one wing out and half on fire kind of thing. Everything has already been done, so anything new is going to be similar to something. Yeah, so it's just how good are you going to tell your story? If you're going to remake Fern Gully, but make it live action and mix it with Dances with Wolves, it better have the best CG effects anyone has ever seen in their life. And that's exactly what James Cameron's done with Avatar. It's amazing. Avatar 3 out this December. Yo, y'all aren't going to hear the end of this until like this time next year, probably. You know that, right? But yeah, so Ghost Machine is firing on all cylinders. Again, here's this big spread. Countless books at this point, but it's not overload. Like, as many stuff as they have going on, it's not even half an X-Men comic book pool list. Not even half of a Bat Family comic book pool list. And it comes out at a decent pace. Mm-hmm. Go check some of these out. It's not too late to get in from the beginning and see what's right for you. But don't skip out on it. You can get some of them in collected volumes already. So give it a shot. I'm telling you, it's super solid. Rod the Rican is in the building. What is going on, homie? So yeah, you got anything else you want to touch on tonight, Paul? We touched on the DC news, on the Lantern specifically, gone through and caught up on Ghost Machine.
I don't think so.
Oh, we're doing the little show talking about what came out this week. So I do want to remind everybody that we had a very special occasion that happened this week. It hasn't happened in years. Pop's watching. Ooh. Oh, Paul at the bookstore's watching. Mark's Avatar royalty check is in the mail. Stan Lee was a master of swiping someone else's idea and tweaking it to his new idea. Excelsior. Pop said, Finn. And he did the waving hands.
Hi.
But yeah, we had the next installment of Batman, The Long Halloween, last Halloween come out. And Jeff Loeb has been writing it. And he reached out to a good buddy of his and asked, would you please do a cover for me? And his friend said yes, despite not having a great working relationship with DC.
Hi, Finn.
Yeah, that's the event. That's Joseph. That's who sends you the box of the Transformer stuff in there that y'all open on your channel. It's your friend Joe.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
Hi. But so none other than the living legend icon himself, comics' very own bad boy, Rob Liefeld, put out a Batman cover in the style of the late great Tim Sale. Even like, if you can find one, get one. I have a feeling these might not be easy to find, because as much as people like to talk negatively about Rob Liefeld, you don't get haters like that without having a massive following, and the dude still sells books.
I can neither confirm nor deny that one will be given away on the next that week's end. Sorry.
Oh yeah, right here. Monday night at 8:30.
Guess that key.
Guess that key. You have school in the morning. Go on now. Get. Good kid. Yeah. But yeah, I gave one copy away this past Tuesday during the new DC Day stream. Paul cannot confirm nor deny he'll be giving one away next week, not this week, but next week for Guess That Key or a future episode. So a great opportunity to get you a copy. Yeah, next week we're going to be touching on some other stuff, probably looking at New Gods.
You have something else to give away.
Yeah, that's right here. I'm glad you reminded me. But yeah, we're going to try to get caught up on some books as we go. But last week, as soon as we were done talking, I'm like, Paul, we got to catch up on Ghost Machine. We need to do a Ghost Machine episode. I'm kind of thinking about and playing with like formats for this stuff, like if kind of deep diving on like something like how we kind of went in on Ghost Machine for a minute, spent some time on it. And I know not as many people read Ghost Machine as they do like Marvel or DC stuff, but it deserves the attention. It deserves the attention. So it's the first Sunday of the month. That means we give away the Legion loot, which is we pick a channel member in the Legion tier for the channel member appreciation of the month. So what is in this month's? We're celebrating the release of Captain America Brave New World with the theme of this giveaway. We got Captain America issue 25 from 2014, which is the first appearance of Sam Wilson as Captain America, where he takes on the Shield. Some Silver Age goodness. Now, almost all the rest of this I picked up from ABX. Yeah. So I got some Silver Age goodness of Captain America 106, some beautiful Kirby art. Captain America 105, which this series starts at issue 100. So these are super low issues. Mike Zeck goodness with Cap 332. And then the first appearance of John Walker in Cap 323, who is U.S. agent. It'll be in the Thunderbolts movie. And then a classic Incredible Hulk homage with the recent Hulk run, issue 21. It's a Captain America Sam Wilson homage, that iconic cover, but with Sam and Red Hulk on there. And then the brand new series Red Hulk issue number 1 with that movie variant, which I love a good movie variant. So you have Harrison Ford, Red Hulk there. And then some Alex Ross goodness with Captain America issue number 0. A new era begins here, which should be included in this compendium for Captain America, Sam Wilson, Captain America. And Paul can attest to this. I got this on vacation last year. Picked this up last year while we were on vacation because I knew that this movie was coming out. That slab got the year before that. Just waiting for this movie, waiting so long for Sam to get the freaking shield and get some love from Disney. So I've been putting this together. So if you haven't read the Sam Wilson Captain America stuff, you can get very familiar with it. The first appearance of Hakeem is in here. You get to see him become the Falcon, all kinds of stuff. So you can get up to speed on what's going on without having to bust a slab and read it. And a big shout out to Nick's Kicks and Comics, who picked up Hell Hunters issue number 2, the John Jang MegaCon exclusive from the, you got to go to the show to get it. Scott's Collectible exclusive. And John signed it. Nick sent me an extra copy so that we can give one away tonight for the Legion loot. That's Uncle Sal Ghost Rider there, the 1942 Ghost Rider that was introduced inside of Philip Kennedy Johnson's run, is now part of this mini-series Hell Hunters that's also written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. And this is just, when Jang does Ghost Rider, that's crazy, my dude. That Cosmic Ghost Rider he did for BTC as well. But man, this Uncle Sal Ghost Rider has been like my favorite Marvel character in recent years. You got Hulk, you got Ghost Rider, and now you got Uncle Sal Ghost Rider as well. Super cool stuff. So big shout out and thank you to all the channel members, and big shout out and thank you to the channel members in the Legion tier. Let me get this wheel up. We got it ready to rock and roll. Boo-doo-boo-doo-boo. So good luck to everybody. Be on the lookout. I'll try to share out what's going to be in the March giveaway sooner than later. I'm already crafting the April giveaway. I'm working on that one, so I got to figure out the March. I'm thinking we're going to go Daredevil. I'm sorry, Brother John. We got to get some DC stuff to come out. I'm looking forward to Lanterns already, but I tried to do the giveaway and theme with something that's going on at the time. Try to ride those hype trains.
Can't wait for July.
And it's super. It'll be Superman month. Absolutely. Hey, I can do a Superman giveaway, my dude. I've done a couple of them now. What was that like? That one I did was like a $500+ giveaway by the time I was done piecing. Because I get excited when it's something that I'm super into as well. I just find all kinds of stuff. I'm like, yes, throw it all in there. But yeah, July will be a Superman themed one for sure. Probably mix it up a little bit. Get some Fantastic Four, Superman, maybe a Jurassic Park something in there. That's a big month for a lot of fandoms. Big month for a lot of fandoms.
However, you will not receive the Turok Jurassic Park crossover.
No, hell no. Yeah, and come December, you won't be receiving any Avatar or anything either. Which I will let you know, I own 100% of the Avatar comics and a CGC 9.8 of the first appearance of Avatar in comic books. I actually brought it to Guess That Key before.
It was a free comic book day one, wasn't it?
It was. I'm just hanging on for the second She-Hulk theme giveaway. I did a sensational She-Hulk #1 for She-Hulk. I did the John Byrne era. Yeah. Just because I don't enjoy something doesn't mean other people out there don't enjoy it. I'm not going to knock anyone for their fandom. That's for damn sure. We all like what we like. But thank you all. And after this, make sure you go head over to Burt Family 54 comic stream. He's going to start in 1 minute. He'll be going live, and he's doing a giveaway over there right after this. So we'll draw for this winner. And if I can get somebody with a wrench to go ahead and drop Steve's link in the chat, we'll get this thing spinning, and then we can all head over there. All right, good luck, everybody. And
all right.
the winner is...
I'm not responsible for people losing this time.
Oh, no, I guess not. Durs! Boom, big shout out to homie Durs. Let me get screen grab that. Perfect. Paul's looking at the Oscars. Nailed it. Oh, John said he won that. Awesome. Very awesome. He won the She-Hulk giveaway. Okay. But yeah, big shout out. Thank you guys. And make sure, I think we're going to do Daredevil. I've got this first appearance of Elektra as Daredevil in the CGC 9.8. I think we'll throw that in to the Legion loot for the slab for next month and maybe grab some other stuff. But I'm telling you all now, let you know now, April is Frank Miller month. Frank Miller month. I've been working on that one for a while. I figured we wait till April Fool's month to do the Frank Miller month. I got some work to do to make it what I want it to be, but it'll get there. All right, guys. Brother John has dropped the link in there. Let's just go head over to Steve's channel. Go drop some comments in his live chat. Give him some thumbs up. And we'll see all of you guys tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the DC Deep Dive. And until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.